So let's talk about a mindfulness technique of utilizing a tactile or the sense of touch. So this can be really anything that you would like to use for, what we would consider a totem, or you don't even have to have a totem, right? You can just use your skin, your hand, your clothes, whatever you happen to have with you. Or you can use a specific totem that you would like to utilize for your tactile item. So, if you can get yourself in a comfortable position and find sitting up is preferred, just so that you don't get too comfortable to fall asleep. But usually, this one's a little bit more engaging. It's a little bit harder to fall asleep with this, but just depends. Get yourself in a comfortable position. If you have a tactile item that you would like to use, maybe there's something that is of meaning to you, something that has some texture to it. It can be a stone, it can be an item that you got someplace. Again, it can be something soft, it can be something hard, it doesn't matter. Just anything can work. It can also be your clothes, right? Something that you're wearing. It can be a blanket, it doesn't matter what it is. So find an item that you'd like to use. I will give an example of items that I've used in the past is a really soft blanket, right? If you happen to have a pet, pets are really great for this if they happen to like to snuggle and stay, because you can pet them. You can give them like a little massager or pet down, because then you're feeling their fur and their body to use as your tactile item. So for mindfulness skills, just as a reminder, what we're utilizing here is some type of a grounding tool, which is your totem, whatever you're choosing to help as your item to focus on, to help as whatever the distressing thoughts you might have that keep your thoughts in either the past or the future, right? This technique is going to help to get you back in the present moment. So for short periods of time, it's going to help you to get yourself back in this moment with your tactile item. So, the way that I like to describe it is you're dissecting something with your fingers so that you can help to slow, distract, give distance from your distressing thoughts. So, let's say you choose, like I've got a stone here that I oftentimes use for a tactile item. So let's say you choose this for your tactile item. You would have that in your hand. Let's dissect that. So what would that mean? Well, so you're going to feel around the edges, right? This item that I have in my hand has got multiple colors on it, but within the colors, it's going to change with what it feels like. It changes how it's smooth from one edge to harsh on the other. So as you've got your tactile item in your hand, what does it feel like? Touch around on all of the edges. Feel every corner if it has corners. Feel every edge if it has edges. You're utilizing this as a way to help stay focused, and your brain is still going to wander. That's okay. Let your brain wander. If it wanders, just notice that it wandered and let it bring yourself back to the present moment once your brain has wandered to your tactile item. So, again, what do you feel? Is it heavy? What are the edges like? Does it have any weight to it? Is it soft? Is it hard? Does it have any variance from one side to the next? If you closed your eyes and felt this item, could you see some of the pieces in it with your fingers, right? Like if you can touch around on the corners or the pieces of the edges, is it something that you could actually start to visualize with your fingers if you're looking at it that closely? If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the present moment. Remember, mindfulness is not about judging. Don't get frustrated This is what our brains do. It's okay that it wanders and goes into a different direction. Just bring it back and focus on this item that you have chosen. As you're doing this, do you start to notice a little bit of distance that you can give while trying to focus on this item in your hand? If this is the first time that you've ever practiced mindfulness, it can take some time to learn this skill, right? Giving yourself a little bit of distance away from the distressing thought and keeping yourself focused in this moment. This is a skill that does come with time, so it does take some practice. But again, just stay focused on your item. Doesn't matter how frequently your mind wanders, just bring it back to the present moment. Back to that item that you're using as your tactile piece. You've got something that's memorable to you. If that's the totem that you chose, do those pleasant memories come up for you while you're holding this item in your hand? That can be something to help redirect those thoughts as your mind wanders, as well as contemplate there for a moment to help you think about something other than the distressing thoughts that are troubling you. Give yourself a couple of deep breaths. Give yourself back to the awareness of the room, the things that are around you. Stuck through this, you did a great job. If you stayed with this exercise, these can be a little trickier. Tactile pieces are really helpful for some people, and that's not other people's cup of tea, if you will. So if this is for you, awesome, that's great. If it's not, that's okay. There's lots of other senses that you can use if this happens to not be yours. Another thing we've talked about in some of the other exercises is you can layer items. So maybe you need to have like the sound, a mindfulness of sound, something really enjoyable that's in the background while you're doing a tactile piece. So this idea of like layering a couple of different things could be really helpful. I would suggest starting small and working your way up as far as time goes. Pick 2-3 minutes and work your way up from there, especially if you're going to do it without somebody guiding you like what I'm doing here, because I don't want you to get frustrated and want to quit, because it is very different than what you're used to doing as far as the way that your brain functions and wanders consistently. So hopefully this was helpful and exercise that is connecting to you, and thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.